By the grace of God is an introductory part of the full styles of a monarch historically considered to be ruling by divine right, not a title in its own right. In the United Kingdom, for example, the phrase was added to the royal style in 1521 and has continued to be used to this day. According to the Royal Proclamation reciting the altered style and titles of the Crown, of May 29, 1953, the latest such change of royal title, Elizabeth II's present full title is Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and of her other realms and territories, Queen, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith. History and rationale. Originally, it had a literal meaning. The divine will was invoked, notably by Christian monarchs, as legitimation for the absolutist authority the monarch wielded. This is also known as the divine right of kings, that is, the endorsement of God for the monarch's reign, while the Christian Roman emperors during the late dominate, especially in the East, came remarkably close to acting out the role of God's voice on earth, centralizing all power in their hands, e.g., reducing the Patriarch of Constantinople to their minister of the cult, and proclaiming their universal authority. For most dynasties it would rather prove to be a never-ending battle up the hills of political resistance, both from rival power poles within their state and from foreign powers claiming independence or even hegemony, usually constraining them in constitutional limitations. By custom, the phrase, by the grace of God, is restricted to sovereign rulers. In the feudal logic, a vassal could not use it, because he held his fief not by the grace of God Almighty, but by grant of a superior noble, directly from the crown. Yet this did not stop kings to continue using it, even when some of them did homage to the Pope or another ruler, on account of some fief, or even for their actual principality, such as the many belonging to the Holy Roman Empire. While the incantation of divine grace became a prestigious style figure that few Christian monarchies could resist, it is not a literal carte blanche from heaven, but rather a consecration of the sacred mystique of the crown. Some of that survives even in modern constitutional monarchies and finds expression in most even mildly religious republics and dictatorships, where all power has been transferred to elected politicians. In modern, especially recently founded monarchies, more realistic power reports do in time find expression, sometimes even in abandoning, by the grace of God, or rather, especially earlier, in the intercalation of compensatory phrases, such as, and the will of the people, or replacing the genitive, sovereign of X place by, sovereign of the X inhabitants. Quite meaningful where linked to the Enlightenment notion of the social contract, which means the nominal sovereign is in fact potentially subject to national approval, without which a revolution against him can be legitimate. The phrase was used in Luxembourg until 2000, when Henry, the current Grand Duke, decided to drop it, like the use of the term subject for the citizens of a monarchy. By the grace of God is a protocollary form that has survived the emancipation of the electorate from its once absolute rulers, who now rule only in name, but without real political power. During the 20th century, during the dictatorship of Francisco Franco in Spain, Spanish coins bore a legend identifying him as Francisco Franco. Por largi, de Dios Caudillo de España, of God, leader of Spain. Parallels exist in other civilizations, e.g., Mandate of Heaven of the Chinese Empire, where for centuries the official decrees by the emperors of China invariably began with the phrase, which is translated as, the emperor, by the grace of heaven, decrees. Contemporary usage. Today, even though all Western monarchies are constitutional, all political power having passed to the people, the now hollow traditional phrase, by the grace of God, is still included in the full titles and styles of the monarchs of Denmark, Liechtenstein, the Netherlands, Spain and the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms. Antigua and Barbuda, Australia, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, New Zealand, Solomon Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Tuvalu. The phrase is not used in the monarchies of Belgium, Luxembourg, Monaco, Norway, Papua New Guinea and Sweden. Spain's 1978 constitution, in Article 56(2), states that the title of the King of Spain is simply King of Spain, but that he also possesses the traditional titles of the Spanish crown. As a result, the King of Spain continues to be king, by the grace of God, in modern languages. This list, possibly incomplete, is limited to phrases that were formerly used by monarchies of the tradition in their official styles. Germanic languages. By the grace of God. Der die Genade van God. AF Gods Nade. Pre-1948 spelling. AF Gods Nada. Bij de Gracia Gods. Avguths, Gods Nati. Von Gods Naden. AF Guths Nath. Avguds Nade. Avguds Nade. Romance languages. Dei Gracia. Per la gracia de Dio Q2. Per la grace de Dieu. Per la grazia di Dio. Por gracia de Deus or per la gracia de Deus. Around the time of the liberal wars in the 1820s-30s, the variants per la gracia de Deus y per la constituição da monarquia and por gracia de Deus y unanime aclamação dos povos were used by John VI and Maria II, and Peter IV, respectively. Por la gracia de Dios. Prin Harold Louis Dumnasiu. Slavic languages. Milescu Bozi Jom. Later as Z Milos de Bozi. Milescu Boz Jom or Boz Jom Milescu. Or Z Bozij Lasky. Po Milos de Boz Joj. Z Bozij Milosta. Po Milos de Boz G. Other languages. Nen Hirinis Otit. Deu Kirpan, Kingani. Parmatma di Mehanal. Devun Krupa Valana. No divers elastabas. Dievo Malone. Istankegi El Mebel. Lambda Epsilon Theta Epsilon Omicron. Jumalan Armostar. In Ethiopia. Trigrasta de Acute. TRWY Ras DUW. Bilgraz Jatar. Allah. Lagbara Olaran. Similar concepts unrelated to and sometimes predating Christianity, was a style formerly used by the Emperor of China and the Emperor of Korea, was a style used by the Emperor of Japan until 1945. Bila, often attached to descriptive names of caliphs, compound variations on the formula. In some cases, the formula was combined with a reference to another legitimation, especially such democratic notions as the social contract, e.g., Louis Napoleon Bonaparte was crowned Napoleon III, Emperor of the French by the grace of God and the will of the nation after a plebiscite organized among the French people. Oliver Cromwell was Lord Protector by the grace of God and the Republic, denoting that he was chosen by God to rule, but he was put there by the people of the Commonwealth. Agustin de Iturbide of Mexico was styled Agustini, by the providence of God, constitutional emperor of Mexico, by the grace of God and the will of the nation in Kingdom of Italy, as well as in the Italian Empire where the king was styled by the grace of God and the will of the Italian nation King of Italy, King of Albania, Emperor of Ethiopia, which though omitted the titularity as King of Cyprus and Jerusalem, which had instead styled the House of Savoy previously, and, alongside with Duke of Savoy, King of Sardinia, Prince of Piedmont, by the grace of God and the will of people in Kingdom of Serbia and Kingdom of Yugoslavia. The same title was used in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth when, starting with King Henryk Walezy and ending with King Stanislaw August Poniatowski, the king was chosen by the noblemen in a free election. Sovereigns of the Kingdom of Hawaii were styled, by the grace of God and under the Constitution of the Hawaiian Islands, King.